I'm Cape Joel, and this is Comic Smack, your weekly, daily, all the time, anytime comic show where I give you your fix, everything you need to know from the world of comic books and superheroes. And on today's show, we're taking a closer look at Luke Cage issue number 1. What will happen to Power Man as he's forced to head on off to New Orleans to face some ghosts from his past? Well, let's hop on in together and find out, shall we? Alright then, so as we join the comic, it's just an average day in the life of Luke Cage. Crime fighter, hero for hire, and all-round badass. He's knocking the heads of some people who very much deserve it on behalf of two parents who had their daughter kidnapped. Luke has a pretty funny and pretty interesting internal monologue where he talks about how much money he spends on shirts, but how at the end of the day, even though the bullets that hit him always hurt, the shock and awe in the faces of criminals when they see him not go down, well, you know, that's worth buying all of his t-shirts in bulk. The kidnapping itself was a very Guy Ritchie sort of affair, by which I mean a lot of people being very violent over very small amounts of money, $5K in fact. With that good deed done and out of the way, Luke is on to his next adventure. You see, he got a call about the death of Dr. Noah Burstein, aka the man who did the prison experiment on him in the first place that gave him his amazing power. Luke's relationship with the doctor is complicated, as you might imagine, but he decides he might as well go pay respects to the man after all. If it weren't for him, he wouldn't have been able to save this girl or indeed anyone else. Now, Luke isn't in the Big Easy for long before things start to get a little bit creepy. He gets approached by the doctor's assistant who wants him to go meet some of the other people that Burstein was able to help. And these people all love Luke. They are right over him, saying what a miracle he is, how amazing he is, how if it wasn't for the doctor's work with him, their child's MS never would have been cured. In fact, they heap so much praise on him so quickly and ask him when he's going to get involved with the doctor's new work that Luke decides maybe it's time to leave this creepy New Orleans manor house and get back to the city ASAP. You know, before these guys decide to stuff him, mount him, and put him on a wall somewhere. While the former Power Man tries to reenact his own version of the movie Get Out, he gets run off the road by a group of masked men in a van. Now, obviously, Luke Cage has no reason to be scared. After all, he's bulletproof, he's strong, he can take on anything, right? However, he gets quite surprised when one of the masked men ends up knocking him across the street. As Luke is quick to remind us, this is rather peculiar as he's taken hits from the like of She-Hulk, the Hulk, Magneto, the Juggernaut, so you gotta be pretty big strong to hit him. Oh, but that's not the only trick these mysterious guys have up their sleeves. You see, the leader ends up producing this weird whip-like sword thing, kinda like something out of Soul Calibur. And it, wouldn't you know it, ends up being able to pierce Luke Cage's famously unbreakable skin, which freaks him out to no end, as that really shouldn't be able to happen. Luke is all but screwed at this point, alone in the middle of nowhere and a bunch of killers approaching on him fast. However, he is saved at the last second by probably the most unlikely of person. That man would be Mitchell Tanner, aka the first person to undergo one of Dr. Bernstein's treatment. In fact, there would be no Luke Cage if not for this man, better known by his terrible supervillain name Warhawk. If nothing else, he had the good sense not to wear his absolutely terrible costume. Seriously, Google that shit sometime, it's absolutely atrocious. Tanner tells Luke not to die on him yet, brother, because they still have much to do as the comic ends. Luke Cage number 1 is pretty much everything I wanted from a brand new Luke Cage comic. It had action, it had comedy, it had hints of horror, it had great callbacks to Luke Cage's history. David F. Walker, one of my favorite people in comics, currently manages to craft a story that is both accessible for newcomers who only know Luke from the Netflix show, but also deep and involved enough for old school fans to have fun as well. And yet, as with a lot of books at Marvel right now, I can't help but feel this one's gonna get lost in the avalanche of tie-in books and other new number 1s coming out soon. But hey, you know what? I have a YouTube channel, and with that I can help signal boost for books I like, and I'm telling you right now, support this Luke Cage book. It's really, really good. Especially if you're like me and you like to see crime drama mixed in with your superhero stories ever so often. I would give this one a 9 out of 10. It was really good. So there you have it, everybody. Luke Cage number 1. I hope you enjoyed it, and while I have you here, why not check out some of the other videos I have available on the channel this week, including Secret Empire and the Lazarus Contract. Want to keep up to date on all my newest comic videos? Well, there's no better way to do that than to follow me on Twitter at Cape Joel. I also have a Facebook and an Instagram page that are also, you guessed guessed it, Cape Joel. And hey, if you're feeling in a supportive mood, I also have a Patreon page. Patrons get exclusive videos and podcasts before anyone else, and they can do so for as little as $1 a month. Or hey, you know what? Maybe monthly's not your thing. That's fine too. I also have a cyber tip jar down in the description of this very video. Every little bit helps and every little bit is appreciated. So until next time, everyone, this has been Cape Joel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in another video. Bye-bye.